It's your boy Anye Elite. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for watching the commentary by Icon City News. Today and every other day, we're going to be breaking down the latest and inclusive urban culture and beyond. So let's get right into it.
In your favorite city, getting big money Saturday, Sunday, even though it's Monday, fuck with me every day, be a fun day. Now I ain't gotta sell it 'cause you already see it. The way you want it, I can tell that you need it, boy. It's on you, like, yeah. It's on you, like, yo. If I'm the shot, then you could be the...
Okay, so this first story comes from Illinois. It's about gay history classes. So the governor there, J.B. Pritzker, he signed a bill into law that will require all public schools in the state to teach history that includes the contributions of lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgendered, and everybody. I hope I didn't leave nobody out. I think it's amazing. This law is going to be called the Inclusive Curriculum Law, and it goes into effect for the 2020 school year. So they're not wasting any time with this. And what's really cool about it is that 4 other states have passed laws like this. So of course here, California, leads the trend. So they passed similar legislation back in 2011, but New Jersey, Colorado, Oregon have all passed similar legislation this year. And of course, all of this comes courtesy from Equality Illinois. So shout out to those guys. But, I think it's going to be fabulous. I remember being in school and doing, projects on George Washington. Thurgood Marshall was a favorite of mine, but kids will be able to do stuff on RuPaul, and I think that's amazing. So, in other news, the former Empire actor Jussie Smollett says he is seriously thinking about filing a lawsuit against the city of Chicago for their conduct underlying the arrest and their conduct thereafter. So translation, your boy thinks that he's a victim of some type of malicious prosecution. He don't feel like they needed to go that hard on him, okay? Now, as you know, the Cook County Grand Jury indicted Jussie on 16 felony counts of lying to cops about the alleged attack, but then the state's attorney dismissed all those charges. But then now a special prosecutor is looking into the dismissal, and they have the power to reinstate the charges. So we will definitely keep an eye on this story. The story does not seem like it wants to die. If you're looking for a new Twitter hashtag EmptySeatMagaTour is trending on Twitter after a number of videos surfaced online showing empty seats in stadiums during Trump rallies. But here's the funniest thing, and we already know that the crowds are fake, but at another event held at an ethane plant in Pennsylvania, they literally paid and bussed the crowd into a speech. So these were employees of the plant. They were given time and a half to go to the speech because it was, part of their lunch break. But they couldn't leave early because the pay was attached to their scanned time cards. They were also bussed across the facilities, kind of like it was like a field trip or something. And then on top of all of that, they had to agree not to protest or show any sign of disagreement with the president. So if that's not dictator-ish, I really don't know what is. But do you want to know what is not a dictatorship? Icon City. So if you gotta pee, you go pee. We'll be right back.
In your favorite city, getting big money Saturday, Sunday, even though it's Monday, fuck with me every day, be a fun day. Now I ain't gotta sell it 'cause you already see it. The way you want it, I can tell that you need it, boy. It's on you, like, yeah. It's on you, like, yo. If I'm the shot, then you could be...
Okay, so we're back. I want to talk about gentrification really quick. It's not only hitting Black and brown Americans all over the country. Traditionally gay neighborhoods and entertainment districts are being replaced by high-end restaurants and, similar businesses. Take, for example, here in the beautiful LA, we have a street here, a little strip called Santa Monica Boulevard. On Santa Monica Boulevard, there's a store called Block Party. It's quote unquote the gayest store in West Hollywood. It sells men's tank tops, short shorts, and everything pride related, from rainbow beanie babies to vividly striped jumpsuits. Now, rather not that's the reason why businesses are having a problem. That's a different conversation. But on this part of Santa Monica Boulevard, which is loosely considered Boys Town, Block Party and 2 other stores are some of the last gay-owned and gay-oriented businesses to remain after a steady march of mainstream restaurants, bars, and other retailers have, moved in. And this is not something that's just happening here in LA. It's happening all over. But the owner, he feels like he's lost his community. He's noticed this happening over the last 3 years. Most of the other gay-owned clothing and retailer owners have closed, and it's really a shame because this guy, he's been working businesses in West Hollywood for more than 3 decades, and he's holding on, but how much longer can he hold on? And like I said, this is not just happening here in Los Angeles. We're seeing this trend everywhere. A recent article by the Washington Blade in DC is, detailing a slew of recent closings. Excuse me. Now, some might say that, this is a good thing, like a sign of recent changes in attitudes towards LGBT people. In theory, the need for gay ghettos is no more because we are in a post-homophobic society. And, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to believe that. But if you take into account the hate language from this president and the acts of violence that have been inspired by that language, then I think it tells a little bit of a different story. And, I could go deeper into that, but, it's Monday, we want to be positive. I just want to add, though, that these communities, these neighborhoods or whatever, they often serve as hubs for mental and physical healthcare providers, as well as other vital resources. And, let's keep in mind, drugs, HIV, all types of things. LGBT community is still a very vulnerable one. Speaking of the community, but on something brighter, Taylor Bennett, Local Ninja, TT the Artist, okay? So they all have new music on the Funny Money Rock playlist. The Funny Money Rock playlist is the only professionally curated listing of LGBT, hip-hop, and urban artists in the world, okay? So also you'll find music by Big Freedia, Todrick Hall, myself, and others. It's a stone groove. And when I say it's like the, the only thing like it in the world, it's a whole hour plus of music that empowers you, but not just during the Pride season. Music to make you feel iconic. You can get into it at work, on your way to work, getting ready for the club, whatever, okay? So Funny Money Rock, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, and it's on Tidal, okay? Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. Speaking of Tidal, right, so Jay-Z and this NFL deal. So it was announced earlier this year that Jay-Z has signed like this huge deal to with the NFL to manage their entertainment, as well as like some kind of public service civic outreach campaign. Now, I'm not sure about how much he's going to be making from it, but at first to me, it just sounded like a really, 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 really good idea. But of course, that's at first. So in a press conference, Jay was asked if he planned on having, Colin Kaepernick, the famous NFL player who kind of like started this whole NFL drama in the new initiative. Now, despite admitting to actually discussing, having Colin K as a part of it, to this date, it appears as though that he's not going to be. And so, Jay, he did his best. He gave a couple of reasons and tried to defend himself as best as he could. And why don't you just take a look and, make up your own mind?
I think the biggest issue people have is they want to know how you could partner with a league on social justice when Colin Kaepernick, who brought it to the attention of the masses by peacefully protesting against social injustices, is still out of a job.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that I think we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? So in that case, right? This is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, I hear you. What do we do next, right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like everyone heard, and we hear what you're saying, and everybody know, I agree with what you're saying. So what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So reach millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to put it this way, but would you kneel or would you stand?
Would I what?
Would you kneel or would you stand?
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. Yeah, I think it's time to go into actionable items.
Do you want people to stop kneeling? Oh.
No, I don't want people to stop protesting at all. Kneeling, I know we're stuck on it because it's a real thing, but it's a form of protest. I support protests across the board. We need to bring light to the issue. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job. Right? That became part of it. That became part of the discussion. He was kneeling to bring attention to injustice. We know what it is. Now, how do we address that injustice? What's the way forward? Does anyone have any other suggestions of what's the way forward?
Everybody knows what it is now. It's time to move on from kneeling. But Cap did more than just kneel. I mean, he was working with the communities and he was doing stuff beyond just bringing awareness to it. Why don't you bring him into this initiative? Do you plan to involve him?
You have to ask him. I'm not his boss. I can't just bring him into something. He has to, that's for him to say. And you speak about it as if it's in the past tense. You say he did more and he was.
Still doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know your rights can't.
Huh?
You know your rights can't.
Yeah, so he's currently doing action items, right? That's his version of action item. This is our version of the action item. We all do different things and we all work differently for the same results. I don't knock what he's doing and hopefully he doesn't knock what I'm doing.
Have you talked to him about bringing him into this project?
We had a conversation.
So all I can say is, heavy is the head that wears the crown, baby. To whom much is given, much is expected. So later last week, info came out that in addition to everything else that was discussed, Jay-Z was going to become part owner of an NFL team, something that he's wanted for a while. And while I agree that, you know, the movement is more important than, or much bigger than whether one person has a job or not, I don't understand why we couldn't get this together. Maybe the NFL didn't want to, you know, go on record taking such a L. But as of now, I'd like to see NFL players that were kneeling continue to do so. And I want to know what's in this whole public service initiative, what's going to be in it, you know, other than making Jay-Z rich. And we love Jay-Z, but anyways. Something else I love, though. The Black Lady Sketch Show. If you guys aren't watching the Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO after this, go do it. Seriously, like, I haven't seen anything this funny since In Living Color. If you need a belly laugh or just to be reminded of the endless hope and possibilities of black girl magic, it's perfect. Robin Thiede's in it. I know she's been around for a while. I haven't been following her, but I'm getting in now. You know, like I told you before, I like to let things simmer. But trust me, everybody who's anybody is in this. It's a series, so no shade to anyone we haven't seen in it yet. But there's something for everybody. Issa Rae from Insecure is like kind of behind it. Check it out. It's the Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO. And we'll be right back after this break. After Pride Blues getting you down, try FunnyMoneyRock. 100% LGBT hip hop and R&B on Spotify, on Apple Music, and Tidal. Because beyond June, beyond July, our pride is 365. Search FunnyMoneyRock today. Alright, so this is the final segment. I'm finna get out of ya. But first, in a few weeks, people across the country are going to be gathering at barbecues, cookouts. If someone calls it a picnic, slap that motherfucker in the face and then find some new friends. But instead of the regular hamburgers and hot dogs, how about a new gluten-free alternative, okay? Grilled alligator. I bet it tastes just like chicken though. Now, I'm not gonna hold you, that bacon is calling my name, but why they had to burn the head up is beyond me. Anyway, just a little something, for you to consider for your holiday feast. Okay, so that's gonna be it for me today. Share and comment, please. For the latest in inclusive urban entertainment and culture, it's IconCityNews.com. See you tomorrow.